Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Friday. This is Dave C. This is Indiana Radio 267, live out of Brownsburg, Indiana. We got a full pack show for you today. Coming up, we got Dr. Nasty in the studio this morning, and he's brought a friend with him. We hear that Two Left Nuts, the clown, has a new job that he might be calling us to tell us about that. So we'll see. And our good friend, Chef Gateau, is reported to be out there somewhere. We all know the chef's out there to begin with. But good morning to everybody. Let's get to the news. Senators on Thursday blocked all four plans dealing with immigration as President Trump torpedoed one proposal as a total catastrophe, and his Department of Homeland Security lambasted it as the end of immigration enforcement in America. During a series of afternoon procedural votes, no immigration amendments crossed the 60-vote threshold that would have cut off debate and paved the way for final votes. The effort to pass immigration legislation comes as Democrats insist on protecting young illegal immigrants brought to the country as children, and Trump demands funding for a border wall. Ahead of the votes, Trump administration focused on the bipartisan agreement drawn up by a gang of 22 that would grant a 10 to 12-year path to the young illegal immigrants or deferred action for childhood arrivals, or DACA, recipients. The amendment failed by only getting 54 votes. 45 senators voted against it. The administration objected to the bill's failure to address so-called chain migration, by which immigrants can sponsor a broad number of relatives to come to join them in the U.S. Trump has said that he wants to limit sponsorship to children and spouses. The bill would not end the visa lottery system, which allows 55,000 immigrants into the country each year and has been dogged by accusations of fraud and abuse. Ahead of the vote, DHS warned the plan would mean end of immigration enforcement in America. Senator Chuck Schumer, meanwhile, accused Trump on the Senate floor of trying to spike the deal. Why? Because it isn't 100% of what the president wants on immigration. That's not how our democracy works. You don't get 100% of what you want in a democracy, he said. Maybe in a dictatorship. Senator Lindsey Graham, who supported the amendment, said our proposal would represent the most significant change to immigration law in the past 35 years. Senator Tim Kaine, Democrat from Virginia, called it the best chance to protect dreamers against deportation from the only country they know is home. In two tweets, Trump said the Schumer-Rounds-Collins immigration bill would be a total catastrophe. It creates a giant amnesty, doesn't build the wall, expands chain migration, keeps the visa lottery, continues deadly catch and release, and bars enforcement even for future illegal immigrants, Trump said. Voting for this amendment will be a vote against law enforcement and a vote for open borders. Trump added if Dems are actually serious about DACA, they should support the Grassley bill. The proposal, authored by Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley, was also rejected. Senator Romney expected to announce bid for Utah Senate seat Friday. Former Republican presidential candidate Mitt Romney is expected to announce his bid to run for the U.S. Senate seat in Utah on Friday. Romney was supposed to announce his campaign Thursday in a video posted online, but pushed off the announcement out of respect for the high school shooting victims and their families in Parkland, Florida. He will instead make his official announcement Friday, just before giving a speech to the Utah County GOP later that night, Fox News has learned. The former governor of Massachusetts is looking to replace Senator Orrin Hatch from Utah, who announced his retirement early this year after more than 40 years in the U.S. Senate. Speculation has surrounded the Romney camp as to what his intentions could be if he wins the Senate. Romney has been an outspoken critic of President Donald Trump. I think Mitt's going to make it very clear that he's not running for the Senate because of or in spite of anything to do with Donald Trump, said Spencer Zwick, Romney's former fundraising chief, who now leads fundraising efforts for House Speaker Paul Ryan. I think Mitt Romney would be running for the Senate whether Donald Trump was the president or Hillary Clinton wasn't the president. So keep your eye on that one. Most frequent flyers have been seated near a crying toddler at some point during their travels, but very few have been forced to endure the same nightmare as Shane Townley. Townley, an artist from New York, was one of the unlucky passengers who shared an 8-hour Lufthansa flight from Germany to New Jersey with a demonic tantrum-throwing child who screamed throughout the whole trip, according to viral footage Townley shared on YouTube. Watching the videos, the kid runs and screams throughout the entire flight while the mother does little or nothing to stop him, wrote Townley. Townley's video, which has since amassed nearly 1 million views on YouTube, the young boy can be seen screaming, crying, and standing up in his seat before the plane even departs. And just before takeoff, Townley said the child's tantrum took a turn for the demonic. The boy's mother allegedly tried to calm her son with an iPad, but a flight attendant can be heard telling the woman that the plane's Wi-Fi wasn't available prior to takeoff. At around an hour into the flight, a passenger in Shane's video can be seen covering her ears as the child continues to scream and run around the plane. The rest of the footage documents the child's blood-curdling cries for each of the following 7 hours, along with the boy's subsequent screaming fit upon landing. A source for Daily Mail suggested the child may suffer from a disability, which may have contributed to his in-flight behavior, but it's unknown whether that's the actual case. That was a nightmare, one of the passengers can be heard saying. 8 hours of screaming. Lufthansa, too, has stated the rest of the passengers were understanding of the situation. Our crew worked around the clock to de-escalate the situation, tend to all passengers, and assist the mother, the airline told the Daily Mail. The airline declined further comments due to the individual's medical privacy. A winner of the TV show Survivor bit a police officer as she was found unconscious in the driver's seat of her running parked car and revived with the opioid overdose antidote drug Narcan, police said. Police report obtained by the Observer Reporter newspaper said 37-year-old Jenna Moraska became combative during the January 25th incident near a McDonald's restaurant 30 miles south of Pittsburgh. Police said she bit the officer on the right forearm while inside the ambulance. Police in South Urbane Township said they are investigating as a case of suspected driving under the influence. Moraska was the $1 million winner of Survivor, the Amazon, in 2003, and later participated in a season of The Amazing Race. Police said her license plate reads Amazon. Police referred questions to an off-duty officer who did not immediately return a message, nor did the police chief. The reports that a passenger was found with syringes and was expected to be charged with possession of drug paraphernalia. There were no record of any charges against either woman in online court records, and the local magisterial district judge said they had no record of charges against Moraska. TV station WPXI first reported the incident. This is Dave C., Indiana Radio 267, and we're coming right back for you. Stay tight.